Alright, what's up guys? This is Skipper from IFA Gaming at the Independent Fighters Alliance, and today we are doing CP Granary, a 6v6 loved map. It's frequently used in Highlander, but today we're going to only look at it on the 6v6 side because Highlander will be another day. This is a very well-known map, one of the first maps released with TF2. It's very wide open in certain areas like here on the last point, but more narrow on points here like the second point, and it narrows out, and it's very varying map rather. It's certainly an interesting one, and one that's been used in competitive play since it started off. A lot of maps you see based closely around this map. Maps like Freight, for example, I'm pretty sure takes a lot of key points from this. So we're going to get into the game, and I'll show you a few tips and tricks on how to play this map in 6v6 style. I'm not going to go straight through all of the specifics as far as rollouts go, but it's really your own personal preference in most situations such as that. You really need to just take a look at what suits you best. There are a lot of other videos for rollouts that you can take a look at. I might upload some later. But today we're just going to talk general strategy and holding points. So, give it a few seconds here. Cool. Alright. So, what we're on right here is the middle point. It's very wide open, as you can see. Typically on your first rollout, you're going to go through this door. You're going to have a soldier jump up onto these boxes because these boxes are very important to hold. These boxes give you the high ground advantage, and if you can control these boxes, you can control this point. Another important thing is you want to have the scouts flanking really hardcore, either from going up from up here and jumping along the boxes behind them, or if the scouts roll out through garage, they can try hiding out behind here, going in for a pick, hiding on the opposite side, around here, and waiting for their medic to get out of position and go for a pick. As far as medic and pocket, you're going to be hanging around here. Demo man, probably, depending on your rollout, he'll end up around here trying to spam over the top because every team more or less rolls out on this side, which you'll find out with experience of this map. So, this is basically middle point. Important sticky points to notice once you've captured this point. Sticky trap locations around here and around here, which are the only two main entrances to this point. So, another interesting thing to note is these boxes cannot be climbed by any other class except for soldier and demo. If the scout is using atomizer, I believe he can make it up into that box, but if you're holding this, it's important to utilize those boxes in these cases as well. The rocket jump is a very small price for a great positioning. Once you're holding this point, the only thing that can really kill you when holding is something that tries to come up here, which is risky in itself because this is a very spammable corridor. So once you've grabbed middle, you can go for two options, two attack paths. Through the garage, as we call it, or the tunnel. Now the garage has its advantages. It's very wide open. It gives a lot of options as far as attack routes. Whereas it's much slower to get to the next area, which we'll call yard. Whereas tunnel, very direct, brings you right to the yard. But it's a very small corridor, very easy to sticky trap, and just plain dangerous. So you'll see most teams actually roll out through garage with Uber, maybe pop it out through this door or come out through here. You'll see some teams try and flank around, try and do something funny over here, but not so much because it's a very high spam distance, not so safe to do. So what you'll see most teams is go through either this or this, and with an Uber, come in, push, rape as much as they can and move on. So the important things to note to defend this point is definitely sticky up this garage or this tunnel. If you can hold either of those, you're pretty much set, because eventually you're going to have one team that attempts to push through one of these tunnels, not look for the sticky trap, and die. You know, sticky traps are your best chance for ever getting an advantage in a 6v6 game. The other thing is you need to watch your flank. This area, which you'll likely be holding as the yard, if you hold the yard, they can't get to second. So another thing that's important to note is if you're going to hold yard, you need to make sure you have somebody watching the other side of the yard, because this is a great place for roaming soldiers, scouts, just to get behind you and, you know, do some damage. And if they do it right on top of you as the Uber is activated, then it's even more dangerous. So you have to watch out for that for sure. Once this yard is taken, you can easily access into the point. If you've gotten a not complete full wipe and then just fallen back to the second point, what you want to do is you want your medic pair hanging around here, the roaming soldier or just regular soldier hanging around here, watching what this area is called Z, and you want your scouts trying to go around up here, do some damage, do some sort of damage, whilst also watching out for the enemy team to come in and push through this little corridor behind your pocket. That's a really dangerous position because this is behind all of the places where you should be pushing, and it's very easy to die with it. So, as soon as you got the Uber, you should pop in through here, have scouts or a soldier coming through there, maybe a soldier up top actually, scouts through there, and just lay on damage with a demo or a soldier. Not too difficult, at the most with the Uber, unless it's an Uber on Uber situation, they're at least going to have to fall back. Which comes to the Major Goliath, which of course is the last point. Now what you'll notice with this last point is very wide open. It's got these pipes, which is kind of good for scout and soldier flanks, and it's very the point is very wide open. There's only one side to protect the point here, which you can walk through and sneak around. It's pretty safe that way. There's nothing really blocking it from spam, so you can spam this from many different areas, be it that door, that window, these two doors on the side. It's very easy to just do damage by accident on this map, so your pocket should definitely be hanging around somewhere around here. Somewhere not too dangerous, but not too far away from the point. It's very smart to roll a heavy on defense around here, and it's very important to have a roaming soldier up on one of these pipes here, make sure their enemy team doesn't get too much height advantage, because height advantage on this map is very dangerous. Sticky trapping on last is pretty simple. Just put your stickies all around this point, optimize damage, you know, it's the last resort, especially when you're pushing forward. So, as for pushing in, this door is easy, or this door is a good idea. It's closer to the point, but there's less cover, so your medic can sort of get popped by accident coming through this door. And then there's the second door over here, which more safe, but farther than the point. Finally, you can go up top, which is a bit more risky, but it's more or less the same thing. You've got a lot of cover. It's pretty far away from the point, not as much as the possibility to do damage, but you can also gain height advantage here fairly easily, which is very good, just because, you know, it's much more simpler to shoot where somebody is going from up top than it is from this angle. So, once you grab Pwn, that's about it. That's GG. It's going to be, this map is fairly easy to push into, not as easy to defend. So the name of this map is more or less you have to stay offensive. You need to stay on the attack, or you need to like push you need to push in as soon as possible once you've done susceptible damage to the enemy team. You cannot. This is not a map where you can stay on the same point all game and expect to win the game because of a stupid error on the other team. So furthermore, a few more things you might want to look at. You need to make sure to control many areas of this map. This map is very similar to CP Badlands, in which there's a lot of flanks that you should always have a soldier or a scout watching. One of these flanks is on middle point, up here. Another flank is the secondary yard, over here. Third flank is Z, over there. Back to second here, and up top on last. And everything is symmetrical to the other side of the map as well, so don't think that, oh Kipper, you're only doing half the map. Oh, have you taken your pills for today? Nope, I'm not that stupid. So, As far as attacking and defense, that's about it. Some other nice sticky traps that I might have missed is on the top of this garage when you're holding, waiting for Uber. Another thing I suggest actually is that you don't hold Uber here. The reason for that is if you have a demo man running stick or with stickies, just pops them up there, do serious damage. You could accidentally just die here. It's not safe at all. Another place is not to hold is in this area. Reason for that being, as you can just see from right here, there's 4 possible places, and actually 5 possible places that people can attack you from. They can attack you on all angles, and never as a medic do you ever want to be in a situation where you're sandwiched and you need to rely on your few teammates. Other places not to hold. Actually, I mean, this point right here is pretty cemented. You can hold just about anywhere and be pretty safe. So, let me talk about off classes on this map. As most people know, in 6v6 play, you play 6v6 play. You play with 2 soldiers, 2 scouts, 1 down man, 1 medic. The 2 scouts, one soldier is actually called the roaming, and the other is called the pocket. The pocket sticks with the medic, and the roaming soldier will always stick around nobody. Actually, he just goes around and goes for picks and tries to do maximum damage to the enemy team. What you're gonna want to see for off classes, which is what the scouts roll to. They can typically play scout, which is what you most usually see, but you'll occasionally see one scout just run a different class at certain times. Those being pyro, spy, sniper, heavy, or entry. On this map, heavy is great on last point, not so much anywhere else, just because it's low mobility and 6v6 is very high mobility. Engineer you might see on the second point or on the last point. Past that, he's pretty useless. So Pyro you actually probably won't see on this map at all, unless you're in a TF2, one of those lobbies. You know, probably run that by that apple juice guy, if anybody knows him. He's a real asshole, and you'll see him running Pyro a lot. Sniper is probably the most useful off class you can use on this map. The reason for this being, there's a lot of parts that are very wide open, very great pickings for sniper. Like just to point out a few sniper positions. On the initial rollout, this garage door right here, great position. You can see the point, you can see most of the action. Past that rollout, you get into this area, you can just take a little peek out, you got all this yard area, great place to push in. Even past that, if you have somebody holding up this door, you can hang around here, easy pickings onto the point here. The point where he becomes the most clutch though is on last point, because there are so many windows and multiple doors that he can use. So this door appeared not so safe. He's going to get spammed, but you can see all the point. What you'll more casually see is a sniper over here with the scout holding the door open, or over here. This one is less used. I think the scout can't actually see this at all, but the sniper can see slightly closer. That's about it for off classes. Nothing really special actually happens on this map. You might see some spies go around, try and do some damage. So, great flanks for scout. I guess I'll show you. This area right here is really good. This entire back part of the second point is great for pushing in right behind their overcharge, or while they're trying to build up. For middle point, like I pointed out earlier, over here, or this little corridor over here is really good if they're on top of the point. For last, there's not a great lot of flanking points. For scout, pushing last, the best thing you can do is off-class the sniper if you're skilled at that, or just wait till your team Ubers in and attempt to get some picks that the enemy team might not be noticing, and just trying to close in their medic as best as possible. As a scout on 5CP, another important role is just capturing points. Like, if your team can push up while you're capturing the point, because you're +2, and your most crucial role is pushing the points. Soldiers really shining on this map. The reason for this being is these the 4 storage containers on the middle point. You can hold these, it's just like last point with the pipes. The higher advantage can really help you. Scouts can also sort of help you pick off scouts on this, soldiers on this box, because as you can see, very mobile area for the scout using double jump. But soldiers are really important because it's so wide open. You can go for a lot of medic bombs and attacks as roaming, and as pocket, there's a lot of tight corners where you can stick in. That's very nice for soldiers. One of those being here, right? Like you can just do some quick turns, and you're getting any scouts that are on your medic off your back. Demo man, or actually sorry, medic. I've sort of discussed demo man. As far as medic. Uber or crits are both very viable options on this map. The reason for this being, it's not easy to camp, so Uber isn't that effective on most places, but it is narrow enough to have to push somebody back literally with an Uber. Crits is very nice on this map though. Reasons for this being is, with this map, positions for holding have been so cemented over time. If a demo is going to crits open through this door, right? You can always expect the pair to be around this area. So you load up your sticky, you shoot in this area, and you do some serious damage. The same goes for other points, right? You load up, you shoot over this area, they're always going to be holding around this area. You shoot a few stickies up here, area's clear. Same with last point. You move around this area, or you pop a sticky around this area, and do some serious damage. So crits and Uber are both very viable on this map. It's really your personal preference, things you need to try out and practice. I like running crits just because it's always a nice surprise to the enemy team that you're not running stock. And I think I've touched all bases. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for all those who have given me feedback on this video and last video. If you guys want to give me any more feedback as well, leave that in the comments or anywhere else that I post this video. I'd like to thank IFA Vidge, who created our intro today, and Mr. Snazzy, who will have a little snippet after the end of this video that I'm sure you guys will all enjoy. So that's about it. Thank you for tuning in. This is IFA Kipper for IFA Gaming, and I hope you've enjoyed this video, and we hope to see you next week, where I'll probably release 2 more. Thank you very much.